Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Woo! I'm Chewy Mew. Welcome back to Venom Month, day number, I think 18 or 19? Either way, welcome back to Venom Month, where today we're going to be taking a look at Venom. Definitely a Venom character, and first off, we have this fever dream of a spider. That figure comes with, or this accessory, basically could be a figure on its own, comes with the ToyBiz. Along came a spider wave. Venom, the Symbiote. Look at this sucker here. And quite the enormous figure here, if I do say so myself. Move the camera in a bit closer. Yeah, this thing is huge. And so really quick, I got this guy in a mystery box quite a few months ago. I actually recorded a review of this, and I really didn't like it, so I recorded another one, and I didn't like it either, so then I just gave up. And now, because it's Venom Month, I figured now I definitely got to do a review of it. Because I felt like the review, I don't know, I didn't seem as enthusiastic for it, or it took too long to explain stuff or whatever, but I don't know, I just didn't like it that much. And so this being called Venom the Symbiote, it's supposed to be, this figure is intended to be the symbiote without a host in it. So there's no one in the symbiote, which it does defy comic book logic, because according to comic books, Venom the symbiote cannot survive without a host and eventually die. So that's why it needs to be with Spider-Man or some other host. It's a cool spider here. And so that being the case, this isn't technically possible, but this is supposed to be the symbiote is even more powerful without a host, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But you know, it's still really cool. So you know, this thing's supposed to be based off of or not based off comic books, just kind of, I guess, an original ToyBiz design. It not making a comic book sense for this to exist. I don't really care, because this thing, you know, it doesn't have to make sense if it looks cool, you know? Like, if they make a Spider-Man that, oh man, he can fly now because he has, like, flying powers. It doesn't make sense, but if you can make a really cool figure about it, then, you know, definitely do it, you know? Because I prefer to have something that looks really cool than something that can make sense. And this guy has really good leg posability, that you can get him squatting down like this, and then you can stretch his legs out, and then boom, have him standing up like this, really crazy, and like huge, like, toe claws. Yeah, these are claws. There's no way those are like, yeah, the crazy looking, crazy hands. But let's take a look at this thing. Let's take a look first at the face. Put the arms back here so we can look at it. This guy's spikes coming out of everywhere. But take a look at the face here. That's a really cool face. Very monstrous looking. Very definitely this is the most monstrous looking Venom there is. Because all the other Venom figures look, you can kind of tell, it definitely looks like a human. This is very much like a human. This thing is, it's only humanoid, but it definitely does not look like a human being, and it's not. This face looks really cool. I like these things that look kind of like bunny ears. Not really though. I think it looks really cool though. Like, I don't know what are these, like, flaps? I don't know. It looks really cool though. Head sculpt from the side there. Looks very monstrous, you know. Like, it does have good posability in the neck. And one thing I noticed, which it's not supposed to do this, it actually, on mine at least, it comes off. And it hooks on good, so it doesn't fall off. And what I could do to make it look like he has his mouth open, put the jaw all the way down, and then do this, and it looks like his mouth is kind of open, you know. From some angles, it looks weird, but, like, from this angle, it looks really cool. It looks like his mouth is open. And then you could just put the teeth back together, and then boom. The teeth, for not being all one piece, they look surprisingly good. Like, if we take it apart, you can see the way these teeth are sculpted. So when they put this together, that looks really cool. You know, that was so cool how the teeth look like they're all together. And the fact that these teeth are not, you know, like regular animal teeth, or like the way teeth normally look. Like we have Sinister Six Venom here. You can see his teeth look definitely are going up and down, kind of like human teeth, except very monstrous looking. But these teeth are going out to the sides. So how does he bite? Or is it implied that when, like, he opens his jaw, like, if this character was, like, alive and he opens his jaw, would he have more teeth coming down? Or how does he bite? Or does he I don't think he can eat. I mean, it's a symbiote. No, but now symbiotes like to eat brains, though, and they try eating people. So I don't know how that works. But like I said, logic, if it defies logic, it doesn't matter as long as it looks really cool. And these look kind of like horns. I don't know. The face just looks really cool. They sculpted the eyes of the... It's not a mask. It's his face, though. But they sculpted his eyes to look really cool. They're kind of raised there, and you see a bunch of wrinkles there on the gums as well. The teeth are white with this, like, yellow tint in the middle of them, which looks really cool. That looks really cool. A little bit of gum there on the tooth, but that's okay. all these wrinkles on the face, it looks like an animal snout. Like, you know, Sinister 6 Venom here, this one came out after, so it's not really fair to compare these because this one came out long, like, what was that, like, I think 5 years later. But this one has the wrinkles on his face and stuff. This one does too, but this is more animalistic looking. It doesn't just look like a human, like making like a scowling kind of face. It looks like a snout. It's like an alligator-ish, you know, very elongated, very cool, really cool looking face. You have the spikes here along the back going. Oops, gotta move the arms out. You gotta get the arms out of the way here. The tail comes off. It's the tail's not supposed to come off. I mean, it can come off, but I'm gonna take it off for now for the sake of this. Take a look here at the spikes there. They go kind of down. These look a lot less complicated compared to these, where you can see very clearly the outline of the spine going all the way down, and it connects to the tail, which the tail also has the same pattern going across all of it. It looks really cool. Like, if you look at just the tail, it looks kind of like Godzilla's tail, doesn't it, a little bit? A little thin part right there. It's gray and has this black wash across it. The tail here itself doesn't have as much of it. The little gray part you see in between the black of the tail and the spikes here, you can see like a gray strip. You can zoom in there a little bit. Yeah, that looks really cool. I really like the way it looks. And then the back has all this texture, and it looks like cords. It looks like a xenomorph. That's probably the inspiration is a xenomorph, probably most likely. And it just looks so cool. Look at the detail here. You can see these are like his ribs. These parts here look kind of globby and like chunky, which I think it looks really cool. I like that it has some human elements. Like, you see he has like a bicep. Looks like a human bicep here. And something on the arms, the thighs look kind of like, you know, I keep using this Venom because he's like pretty standard human being looking Venom. Looks just like a huge guy with like monster teeth and like claws. You can see the way his thighs look, and this Venom's thighs look really similar. So he has like sort of human elements, like the arms, like the bicep arms, but then the arms go crazy monster, the head crazy torso, but then the thighs look pretty human thigh, which they're just this plain gray with a bunch of black slime going down his legs. Kind of makes you think of Spider Carnage, how he has like the symbiote going down his legs. That was really cool as well. You can see they sculpted a ton of detail here on the knee. Let's turn on the flash here. That looks a lot better there. A lot of detail here. There's like some white paint. I think the paint chipping off of this, because this is supposed to all be yellow, I'm assuming. The paint looks like it kind of chipped off and got stuck on here. Yeah, it doesn't come off. Let's look at this side, because this one, the paint looks cleaner. You know, stuff like that, when the paint looks kind of off, I don't blame the figure. I just blame that it's old and it's been played with and stuff and posed around. That's really cool detail, and they made this joint really deep so you could bend his knee really far in, or you had to have it straight like this. Look at all the detail here, all these gaps here. It looks like he has like ooze parts on the body, but then he has these like insect-ish looking parts. Like, that just looks like a worm right there, doesn't it? That just looks like a worm right there. Like, I guess worminess. Spike here on the back, huge spike on the foot. It doesn't even have like a toe, just a huge spike coming out of like where the knuckles would be for the toe, I guess. Bottom of the foot here, this one just says China. This other one, I think it's 1999 or 1997. Let's take a look here. 1997 Marvel ToyBiz Incorporated. Oh, I thought this was 1999. Because I think Spider Carnage he's from the same wave. I think he's from 1999. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Either way, that's okay. The arms here. Look at these huge claws. These claws are enormous. As a reference, we have Scorpion here. And these are Scorpion's claws. Like, much more human looking. This just looks like a monster. He's really big. Really big thing. More design here and sculpting on the shoulder. These huge spikes coming out of his arm. They are squishy, but you could totally poke someone's eye out with that, you know? Like, if you try. Don't do that for future reference. You can rotate the wrist here. The posability is very hidden right here, which that's pretty cool. He only has 3 fingers and then the thumb. I mean 4 fingers, but he only has 4 fingers in total. I sculpted the detail here on the palm, which looks really cool, because if you look at my hand, I have like the little wrinkles here for the palm and stuff on mine. He has that too, except a lot crazier, a lot more wild. Instead of going up the arms, I like how this part right here, like the wrist a little bit, it has this, like the more black goop, like it does kind of here on the leg and then up here on the knee. I think that just looks really cool. That's very cool. I like the bicep, that it looks human. All the like scales. It's weird. It looks like a combination of scales with tendons and symbiote ooze. It looks very, very interesting, you know? And, like I said, it doesn't really apply to comic book logic, just because the symbiote is not able to do this without a host, you know, but it somehow does it, and the fact that it, like I said, defies logic, the way symbiotes are designed to work, to me that's okay, you know, it's not a big deal. Here we have the very iconic symbiote spider logo on the chest, which I like that this one, you know, most Venom symbiotes, you can use him as a reference, the spider is like a lot thicker here, and then the legs kind of go up like this. They kind of go, you can see they go out to the sides, and then like these little, it makes it kind of look like horns a little bit, they go up, and then they kind of go down on the back. I like how all of the legs just go straight up, or not straight up, they go all diagonally upwards instead of going like they would on other figures across the chest. Like instead of going like this way, they go this way, you know. I think that's really cool. It's really cool there. It does end at his arms, and then he doesn't have a spider logo on the back, which, I mean, that's kind of good because that would mess up this design here. It's like a very, like, I guess their kind of goal was, we're going to make the alien symbiote if he was, like, in his, you know, like, his full form, I guess, in a way. It kind of makes you think of, you know, like Superman, how when Superman, or Kal-El, his original name, when he used to live on Krypton, everyone was just kind of like normal human beings. No one had powers, no one had any abilities, because they didn't have a yellow sun. And then when he came to Earth, he got crazy superpowers because of the sun. I feel like that's kind of the same thing with the symbiotes. At least that's kind of my headcanon, that when he comes to Earth, he's like a goopy slime sucker that he needs help to live. He needs life support from a human being, basically. But then on his home planet, he's this crazy monster-looking thing, you know? That's really cool. Should I leave that on? Let's leave it on. He's dark, so it's kind of hard to make out details here. Or I could do that. How's that look? Does this light even help? I mean, barely. Not much. I'll just leave the flash on for now. But yeah, to me, that's kind of like my headcanon, that this is what Venom would look like in, like, his homeland. It's probably not how it works. But, you know, the symbiotes, they're from a planet where Null is the king, and I'm not a big fan of that whole cosmic stuff. I mean, for me, as far as cosmic goes, is that, oh man, this weird, like, alien slime got stuck to a spaceship and came to Earth. That's like most tellings. But in the comic books, you know, Secret Wars, Spider-Man finds the black suit, and he's like, oh man, my suit's damaged, and he puts it on, then he becomes Black Suit Spider-Man. Which, a fun fact, the original goal of Black Suit Spider-Man was, drawing Spider-Man with all these webs and all this design is incredibly complicated. He's like one of the most complicated superheroes to draw, and they were like, to save us time, we'll give Spider-Man a brand new suit so that we don't have to draw all the webbing in the red all the time constantly. Because they had to draw it by hand, so you couldn't just scan it on a computer and then modify it. No, you had to just draw everything by hand. So that was kind of the reason. But then we eventually got Venom, because they were like, hey, let's make it an alien slime and then turn it into Venom. You know? Which that's really cool. Can he pick up Venom? Let's see if he can actually hold Venom. I think Venom might be a bit too heavy for the arm here. Yeah, he's a bit too heavy for it, but if we do some magic, boom, look at that, and you can throw Venom down, throw him back. I mean, not the best, but you know, he could probably hold Spider-Man. Let's see if he can hold Spider-Man. This is my first ever Spider-Man, except a not completely ruined version. Boom, look at that, and then you can, you know, throw Spider-Man. Kind of janky. But yeah, here's my first ever Spider-Man figure for real. He's a bit heavier than the other one just because he has magnets in his hands and feet. But look at that. He's able to hold them. That's really cool. But yeah, this Venom figure to me just looks really, really cool. It might be one of my favorite Venom figures just based on design alone. Or I was about to say based on aligned alone. Which, you know, makes no sense. Alright. Okay, so I had to pause there for a very brief second. Oh, my dog scared me. Oh, I didn't see her and she just sneaked up behind me. But yeah, I think this thing looks really cool. It's hard to even have it on camera without moving my camera all weird. But yeah, I think this figure just looks super great. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. The tail is loose, but that's just how life works after a while. His knees are kind of bent. Like issues like that, or like the paint chipping on the eyes, or like chipping on the claws and stuff. To me, that's not really an issue of the figure. That's just, this figure's, what, like 17 years old? It's not 17. It's like 25 or 26 years old, depending on, if you want to count this starting year, this year it's 26. But yeah, like 25 years old for this thing. So if some paint's wearing off here and there, to me that's kind of okay. If it's like mint on card, then you can totally judge the paint taps. But if it's used like this, then you can't really. And also, we can't really either forget the cool spider he comes with, which this part comes off, which is kind of unfortunate. But this thing looks really cool. It doesn't have eyes or really a face. It's kind of just like a forehead and fangs and then these like antenna here. I'm just going to leave that part off. When I got it, this part eventually just fell off, but that's okay. I might super glue it back together. Unless it's supposed to come off for some reason. Look at the detail on this thing. These tentacles look really cool. Look at that. They kind of pop around. They're super wiggly. And one thing I noticed you might be able to do is you could put it here. Like, you can slide it. Because I saw, like, a picture where someone put this... Oops, that's the wrong way. We gotta turn off the flash, and then we can zoom out. Putting this... Come on, I'm trying to get the clip on here. Putting this on the back of his head, which... I mean, I guess you can. You kind of can hook it here. It doesn't really hook. Maybe it goes like a certain way. Turn it like this, maybe. I don't think this... I don't know. Yeah, it kind of does hook, like, if you put it like that. And I guess it could be sitting on his head. I guess. I don't know. I mean, that kind of works. It looks kind of weird, but... I mean, I guess you could do that. Or you could just take that part off and just... Boom, plop it on there. I don't know what the goal of it is. I think they just do this to give you some... Like, some fever dreams. And there's this nice fuzzy back part. Like, this part is also really clean. Doesn't look like it's missing chunks or anything. It looks pretty good. And these don't have, like, a spring action or anything. They're just kind of there. They're really cool looking. The paint apps on this, despite being this rubber material, they actually do have a surprisingly good paint apps. I don't know. I feel like these should move or something, or, like, pop out or something. They just kind of wiggle, but that's cool. I guess you can't even have it, like, grabbing Spider-Man. I guess, like, I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, I guess just grab Spider-Man like this. I don't really know what the use for this is, or if it's just a cool, like, accessory, like, bonus toy, I guess. I don't know, but it looks really cool. I just hate that this part came off. I'm probably going to super glue it. But having this slot right here makes it look like you could put it on, like, insert it somewhere. I've been trying to find if there's, like, a place you can hook it. Maybe, like on the back here. I don't know. Maybe I can hook it, like, down here? I'm not really too sure. Yeah, I'm not really too sure. This seems to be the best place to hook it, this part here, but you could... I don't know, but either way, regardless, this is a cool thing. You know, ToyBiz probably could have given you, like, a 5-inch scale figure and throw this in as, like, oh, it's, like, Demon Spider Attack. I don't know, but there's no, like, if I had the original packaging, I could read the bio or the read up and maybe see what that's about. But either way, I think this figure looks really cool. I think it looks really good. Oh, we didn't look at posability. As far as this thing, the head kind of moves. I don't think you're supposed to rotate, but you can. The tentacles are kind of, or the legs are kind of squishy and stuff. Furry butt. You do get the little pinchers here, or pincers, or not, the stinger on the back. These are the pincers. You get the stinger here on the back. Those aren't pincers. Pincers are the lobster claws. I can't speak anymore. But either way, if you take a look here, the head can rotate all the way around. Like, it can go up that high and can look down that much. You can kind of have them, like, looking down at Spider-Man. You can have them looking straight forward, I guess. You can have it tilt side to side. You do have a ball joint, which offers pretty good movement. The arms rotate all the way around. You do kind of have to watch out because the claws are really huge. It has rotation here in the wrist. The legs kick up all the way and they go all the way around, except his arm blocks it. You get a really good single bend in the knee. That single bend in the knee is as good as, like, a double joint knee. And the foot goes all the way forward and can go straight. Then the tail rotates all the way around. This one is unfortunately loose. I might put, like, a glue dot or something to hold it. And that's it. So what is that, like, 14 points of articulation? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10... 12 points of articulation. That's pretty good for this. It is kind of more like a statue thing that you mostly just get, you know, hunching down and stuff like that. And I will say, discovering this as like a, sort of like a, I guess it's more like a life hack. It's not intended, but I guess you kind of use this as like a life hack kind of thing, you know, I guess. A figure hack, if you will. That looks pretty cool there. Look at that. I think it looks the best if you have them like from like at an angle, kind of like this. It looks pretty convincing, you know? Yeah, at this angle, I'm kind of leaning forward, kind of like that Alien, I think it's Aliens 3 that has like a human standing next to the huge alien and it's kind of like crawling toward them a little bit. I think, stay there, dude. Come on, there we go. Yeah, like that. And then you have Spider-Man here. It's like, whoa, dude, don't get me. Or, you know, what would work even better is like one of the 5-inch scale Spider-Man figures. Like here we have this guy. This is the only 5-inch scale Spider-Man that I have. And yeah, like you just see this Spider-Man versus this. He already looks like he's beaten up. And then, wowzers. How could the Spider-Man this tiny could not beat him? This is intended for 6-inch scale, but if you have like this, this Venom, Spider-Man doesn't stand a chance against this. What this also makes me think of, which, I mean, Spider-Man 3 came out 20 years after this figure was released. Or not 20 years, 10 years after this figure was released. In 2017 would be 20. Yeah, no, in 10 years, Venom and Spider-Man 3 came out. And this kind of makes me think of that, like when Peter pulls Eddie Brock out of the symbiote, and then it gets huge and looks enormous and very monstrous. To me, that kind of that's kind of what this makes me think of. Like, it's supposed to be, like, after it fed on Eddie Brock or whatever, it's more powerful now. And the Spider-Man beat it with a pumpkin bomb. But apparently there's supposed to be an extended scene in Spider-Man 3 where he fights the symbiote and it kind of tries tearing him to pieces. But they didn't do it because apparently the test audience thought, oh, it looks too scary for a movie, so they didn't do it. But yeah, but either way, I think this looks good. This is a phenomenal figure. Even without that cool jaw thing that you could do, it's still really cool, you know? I wouldn't recommend, if you have this, try taking it off, because what if you break it? Mine just happened to be doing the head when I was playing around with it, and the head popped off. So that's, you know, that's pretty cool. But yeah, but either way, this looks really cool. Look how phenomenal this thing is. This is an absolute monster of a symbiote. The Venom the Symbiote. It looks really cool. But yeah, but let me know what you think about this figure. This figure is great. Definitely one of the highlights, I will say, of Venom Month, in my opinion. At least for me, one of the highlights. But yeah, that's all for this video. Let me know what you think about this figure. Let me know how you feel about Venom Month so far, and I'll see you guys in the next video. He doesn't even need why. Bye, guys.